difficulties.
Do I have to open the third beer right now? Because I have a mostly full first beer.
Yeah, I think you do. Fortunately, I got another koozie to hold my third beer as well.
Oh my goodness. It's all right. Better drink fast.
And didn't you say you're already buzzed?
Yeah. You guys, this is me in my prime, so it's fine.
All right, we are recording. Recording everywhere. All right, fantastic. Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown, along with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber.
Hello.
And this is State of Atlanta. Happy Cinco de Mayo, guys.
Only 3 beers opened. That's all it took to get this thing started.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Plancha.
Did you guys do your required tacos and margs somewhere tonight or some bring home?
I did not. So juniors opened back up.
Nice.
And they're only open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from like 5 to 11 or something, or 5 to 9. And so I put in an order.
Through lunch. We're not doing lunch rush. No, it's all about dinner here.
I wanted a slice on Friday, and I got my kid all hyped up for it and everything, and they weren't open. And so I was like, all right, first available chance. And we did like a little block party. Everybody kind of cooked their own thing, and there was at least one couple with tacos. So count it.
We could have gotten a margarita pizza. I mean, which has nothing to do with margaritas at all.
Yeah.
How about you, Tim? I know you're a taco man.
Yeah, so we were going to do Taqueria del Sol, but they stopped answering the phone at about 7. So
Yeah, the little place around here by us that I always talk about, El Tesoro, they had to cut off their online orders because they were getting too backed up and they couldn't handle the people that were walking up to the restaurant. So it's good to see support for them. Funny story about them is we actually got food from them over the weekend. And I was just typing in like El Tesoro on my phone to find the phone number. And apparently El Torero popped up first. And I called them and I placed my order. And so there's still an order for Brown of some tamales and tacos and margaritas that's not been picked up yet from El Torero.
Did you pay for it? Did you just like donate that?
I did not pay for it. And I feel like a jerk. I should have called back and be like, hey, you cancel that order. But I had 2 margaritas in my hand at El Tesoro by the time I figured that out. And just
that's too much, man. That's too much. Yeah.
What do they expect from me? You know?
Yeah.
that's a lot.
You're going to put down a margarita? Nah, dude.
Not gonna happen. Not in that heat.
I feel like maybe they're doing so much business at El Tesoro because you've been plugging them every week, man.
Exactly. All the listeners checking it out. No, the Edgewood has really gotten big time behind El Tesoro, and the food is legit good. So I'm not surprised. But yeah, tonight we actually opted for another favorite of my place, not a Mexican restaurant, but the Republic Social House in Grant Park. They just reopened this week with a curbside pickup, and so they do $2 tacos on Tuesdays already. So went down there and grabbed some tacos and a pitcher of margs. So I'm a few drinks deep before even starting this tonight, and then I have 3 beer open right now.
I like their spicy chicken sandwich a lot. I wouldn't even been able to help it.
Their food there is fantastic, but I'm mostly a brunch guy there, so eating
brunch is solid. Yeah, but I'll get the chicken sandwich then too, and just tell them to put a fried egg on it.
Yeah, I will happily plug Republic Social House all the time. That place is awesome, and they're doing renovations right now while they doing the curbside stuff. Not loud.
Well, that's a good time. That's a good time for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as they're open for dine-in, and you want to go get like some residual stain on your butt from them recently standing all their seats, just check it before you sit down.
Are they changing anything structurally, or is it still just going to be like the same space upstairs and downstairs?
The only thing I didn't ask any questions. The only thing I saw was just standing and restanding stuff. So
okay, cool.
Inside and out. So I'm sure there's probably more stuff they're getting fixed up. But
nice.
So
still, it's a great place.
It is awesome. So what's new, guys? What's been going on the past week?
Just sitting at home working.
Yeah, not a lot changes, right?
Yeah.
Waiting for Tuesday every week.
Yeah.
Exactly. I wait for Tuesday for this, and then some friends and I, we do a happy hour on Fridays. That's the 2 things I kind of look forward to all week long. But didn't take advantage of the kind of work release we had going on this weekend. Get out of the house, go to a park, throw a Frisbee, something.
No, I've been doing that every day anyway, because the parks aren't technically closed, and I live really close to one, so that's one of the things me and Izzy have been doing.
Yeah.
Throwing a Frisbee. She's really good. For a 4-year-old, man, she'll like throw it and I can catch it.
I guarantee you a 4-year-old better at me than at throwing a frisbee. I am not a frisbee thrower. Never have been. The whole point the finger thing means nothing to me. I got no idea what's going on.
So no disc golf for you, David.
No. I have gone disc golfing before, and it was an utter travesty. I mean, so I'm not good at golfing in general, and so I'm the
Just
kind of
drink.
guy that, like, when you go to Top Golf and you're gonna pay for your big bucket of balls or just any driving range, I'm like, all I need is one ball. Give me one, because the chances are it's not going so far out that I can't just pick it back up off the driving range. It's not going very far for
Top
me.
golf is fun though, because they just let you whack it until you get somewhere, you know.
And they have like the Inspector Gadget ball that comes out. It just kind of pops up, in the ground, and you can, or slides down a little tube.
Yeah.
I forget how it works, but it's automatic, which is cool.
And the food is surprisingly solid. I
And the
enjoyed
prices
everything
are-
I ate there.
Prices are unsurprisingly high.
Well, yeah, that's
It's
Yeah.
incredibly expensive. It's incredible.
Well, when I went there, I got my company to pay for it, so it was like a team outing or whatever. So they just bought all our apps and all our beers.
That's not bad. It's a good outing if you can do it. I went to a bachelor party there. It was, it's the starting point of the night. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I never learned how to golf, and I thought it was pretty fun. I mean,
Yeah,
I
me
actually
too.
beat a bunch of people, even though I don't golf. You just go for the shorter ones, and they try to go for the long ones, and you
That is
eventually
something that's kind of cool for those that aren't golfers, is being able to have those kind of games where you kind of get it closer to certain areas, or try to, kind of like your dart style games, or get that area, this area, that area, so cricket or whatever.
Yeah.
You figured out the strategy.
Something like that. I just end up just sitting there and drinking while everybody else does it. Why waste my time? We know what I'm here for.
I drank a ton while I was there, but again, company dime, so it's fine.
Just gotta make sure you don't say anything too stupid with the company.
No, it's fine. I say stupid shit all the time.
We're used to that too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, did you guys see the Blue Angels? You guys check that out this weekend?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, they
I saw him. I saw like the back of him. I heard him, so I ran outside and I saw him like sort of off in the distance.
there's a house next door to me that's being built, and it's going to be kind of cool when it's available. It's got a rooftop patio because it's a very small lot, so they don't have room to do a lot of stuff. So the top of it, there's no like rooftop. It's a flat space, and so it's under construction, but it's pretty much as close to being to the point where they're locking it up and not letting any vagabonds like myself traverse inside of it. But I was like, this is perfect. The route is supposed to circle like right around our house because it came down 20 and it turned around to go back downtown. And so I'm trying to get the big kid ready to go with me over there to get to the rooftop to watch this whole thing. And she does not understand how fast we need to be going right now. Because I'm still on those 2 margaritas deep from El Tesoro, same day. I came back from that, and she's not putting her boots on. We finally get over there, and I walk in the door, and I hear some people inside working. I'm like, crap! I didn't think there was anybody there. So like, all right, we're not going to go up there. Which I'm glad I heard them, because we walk out of the house, and bam, the thundering roar of the jets go flying like right over us. And
Yeah, it's hard to miss when it happened. Even if you were inside, doesn't matter. It was loud.
Yeah. She was way less thrilled with the whole thing than I was, but oh well.
Give it some time. She'll come around sometime in the future.
Yeah, we'll see. So anyhow, let's get into it. I always just scour the Panther Talk primarily, and then the message boards and Reddit, all that kind of stuff, Twitter and everything, to try to get some topics. And Panther Talk was absolutely dead this week. There was nothing going on. A couple of replies to some posts here and there, but it was of no help whatsoever at all this week for the first time.
No logo discussion? No?
No logo. Well, does that mean we're actually at a point where we're kind of satisfied with our logos?
Pantherhead's awesome, man. What do you want?
Pantherhead is awesome.
So,
But I've
Represent.
got the word mark under.
Yeah. Get rid of it. The word mark with the Pantherhead logo is fine. It just doesn't have to be every single time you show the Pantherhead that it has to have the word mark underneath it, Exactly.
Boom.
right.
And how long did it take to get a hat with just that on there? A blue and white hat with just that on there?
I don't know. I'm not a hat guy. I just I started balding, so I figured I had to. I'm recent to the hat world because of my balding.
Should we have told you earlier that you were balding? Because I've known you for a few years now. I knew that.
Oh man, I saw a picture of myself from behind the other day, and I was like, there is like a clear like bald spot back there at this point. God.
It's your solar panel, man.
It's all right.
Are you gonna go just to shave your head thing? Gonna go the Timmer out here and shave your head completely?
Eventually, so I let Laurie actually cut the back of my hair so it would stop coming out the sides of in the back of my hat, And
That's a true sign of someone from the South when they wear their ball cap and their hair just wisps out the sides like that.
that's where it was. It was pretty tacky looking. So I let Larry cut it, and I was like, if you screw it up, I'll buzz it off. It's fine.
Yeah. Are you prepared for that? You prepared to go?
Yeah. I almost just did it anyway. Just like quarantine time. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Could
It'll be easier that way. You won't have to like suntan just the one spot. You can suntan lotion the entire head. You know?
I'm kind of afraid it won't come back.
Does it kill it all?
Yeah.
It'll come back.
It's not like weed be gone. You're getting rid of your hair.
I don't know, man. I'm losing it right now, so I'm afraid if I just get rid of it all, it won't come back.
Maybe it's the stress of being at home with the wife and kid 24/7 that's causing them to fall out at this point.
I'm telling you, it's tough. You know.
Yeah, I know. Tack on another kid.
Yeah.
And another dog. So.
Do you have a kid to watch the kid? No, that doesn't work. You have a kid to watch the kid, right?
Yeah, it does not work.
No.
I actually walked into the bathroom today, and little kid's in the bathroom. The big kid, pants down, butt pressed against the little kid, pressing her against the tub, just dancing. I'm like, what is going on? What is happening in this house?
What are they watching on TV?
I don't know. I came in because I was working at the office. I came into the living room, and there was some show on, and there was a character called Dingaling, which is a little bell. And the main character,
sure, it's a bell. Got it.
Yeah. Well, it's and the main character was named Boogie, and her fans were called Butts, so it was Boogie Butts and Ding. I don't know what that show was. I'm like, this has got to end. But anyhow, I did find some things for us to talk about. Obviously, we got to talk about what's going on with this whole lockdown in college sports. Some schools announced that they're reopening, and they expect to play in the fall. But I guess the general consensus is it's really easy to expect to open and to say you're planning on opening, but we have no idea what's going to happen come June, July, August, right?
Yeah.
So there's Texas State, I think, was one of the schools that I think all the Texas schools, Alabama says they're doing it. But Georgia State had already said they plan on doing like hybrid classes in the fall, some on campus, some online. But if they're not allowing kids on campus until August, September, does that mean the kids can even have a chance to practice before then?
They don't need to practice. Come on.
Yeah. Actually, speaking about that, I got a phone call from Rob Lanier. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, I guess, right? And that's one of the things he was talking about. I guess he just called them like supporters and stuff. It wasn't anything about, I wasn't in his speed dial. It was a 413 number. We know it came.
No, when's he going to be on the podcast, man?
I thought about it. I didn't want to put him on the spot.
Tonight?
No, that's what you got to do. Put him on the
Stick around.
spot, man.
Stick around. He may be joining us later on. I sent him the link.
I thought you wanted to grow this thing.
Yeah. This already is too much work for me. You want me to put more effort into it? But one of the things he was talking about was he just said if he could get just 4 weeks straight of time with these guys to be able to practice and talk about basketball and everything, that's all he really needs to feel comfortable going into the season. So I would assume, football is obviously a different sport. There's more people and the conditioning is way different. But yeah, I would assume that Coach Elliott's kind of on the same page. Like, just get me some straight time to play with these guys and kind of get them over all the new guys on the same page with the veterans and everything. But
I think we already talked about this too a little bit, where I think other coaches said just need a month, right? A month.
Yeah, I think it was July 1st. They wanted July 1st to be the day, or maybe that was NFL. July 1st sticks out as a date that some coaches were talking about wanting to be on.
Yeah.
With the kids back on campus. But the NCAA did come out with their 3-phase approach to getting this whole thing up and running again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
For football or for everything?
For sports in general.
Sports, yeah.
But it was putting us with a fall start. So, I guess the athletic year starts on July 1st. I don't know which sports are playing in July. Baseball playing in July? I should probably know that. I don't know. But,
maybe practicing. I don't know.
Let's just shake our head at him, Tim, and let him just like talk to dead air.
Well, normally when I say something, I'm right, and Ryan tells me how vehemently that I'm wrong, and later on we're like, no, I was actually right about that.
No, we just need John to step up and tell me when I'm wrong. That's all.
John doesn't have that much time on his hands, man. Come on.
I already warned him that I'm bullshitting a lot. So
it's basically 14-day increments, like to see like trending downward, and the federal government and the local governments have to be like saying it's cool to get people back together and everything, but they're not going to do anything until all the states are on board. And like there's college football in all the states. I guess Alaska probably has a football team.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know where it would be.
I don't know, but so
Everywhere else.
Alaska can go, do whatever they want to do. But so I guess the other 49 states all have football, so they want all states to be on board before they do anything, which obviously makes sense. But what happens if one state has a massive outbreak in the middle of the season? Do you say, all right, well, those teams aren't hosting games or aren't playing games, period, anymore? Like, what happens when Rutgers is like undefeated 10 weeks into the season, and then New Jersey has a huge outbreak, and they're like, well, Rutgers' chance at a college football playoff championship is gone.
You could probably work out some kind of sharing program to be like, yeah, you are done, but like everyone else will kind of help you out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what partnerships are for, right? Like you would think that the conference mates would be able to like pick up the tab on that. And I know there's a couple of independents, but should have been independent.
Yeah. What do you think of having independent programs? Is that like, I guess it makes sense. You should be allowed to play without being affiliated with a conference, but it kind of makes it really annoying and a pain when you have to deal with make a decision with all these conferences and then figure out what Notre Dame and BYU want to do. And
well, what's annoying is how much power Notre Dame gets, because it's like the P5s get a vote and then Notre Dame gets a vote somehow or another, and you're like, it's completely unfair because Notre Dame, who cares, right? Like they've got a lot of fans, I'm sure, but
you think Notre Dame has fans?
Well, they shouldn't get the same. They don't have as many fans as a conference, as any given conference. Like the Sun Belt.
I would guarantee you,
Notre Dame.
There is more Notre Dame fans than there are combined Sun Belt team fans.
You think so?
I would wager to bet. John, check that out for me.
Fact check.
Attendance. Let's just add up attendance at yeah. I don't know how else to judge it.
Viewership.
They have a lot of fans.
They have their own.
This is how I'll win, because they couldn't possibly win if we checked it that way.
They have their own NBC TV agreement for home games. Like, that's how big they are.
Yeah, it's BS. They still shouldn't get their own vote.
So what are your thoughts on the three-phase thing? Do you think it's legit?
Oh, let's go over the three phases.
Can it happen?
I did not spend the time to break all of them down. I don't know, Tim, if you have all three phases. I started to, and it got really boring. I didn't want to do it anymore.
What's phase one, Tim?
I mean, it's like pages long. We probably don't have time for it. But, I mean...
It's just showing a progression and like things opening up. And, you'll allow some players on, but if there's at risk, then you don't allow them on. And in this 14 days for everything, they've got to see 14-day trend before they move from phase 1 to 2 or 2 to 3. But it kind of puts it, if things start from when this was released, I think the way I saw somebody do the math for it, it kind of put them at a legit regular Labor Day weekend. Is it Labor Day weekend? I can never remember which one's which.
Yes, Labor
Day weekend. Labor Day and Memorial Day. Like, they need to have like better names to distinguish them. Like, how about Fall Day and Summer Day? Like, that would be a better way for me to understand which ones win. I can never remember Labor or Memorial Day.
Yeah, I mean, the core principles of resocialization, like the very first bullet point is there must not be directives at the national level that preclude resocialization. So the minute something happens where they shut down everything all at once,
that's the big question. It's like, what happens when one school has an outbreak? Do you so if Valdosta State has a kid that tests positive for COVID, do you shut down
cancel football?
Well, do you shut down UGA football? Do you shut down the entire state of Georgia, or do you shut down everything? Do you shut down all of their Division 2 or 3? All of that.
Yeah. D2.
John says that they probably have some D3 teams up in Alaska. So
that's true. There are some D3s somewhere, right?
Yeah.
There are D3 teams somewhere. Yes, Tim.
I mean, maybe that's actually something we could talk about. Maybe we can get John in here one day. I have no idea what the real differences are between all the divisions. Like, I know FBS and FCS, there's some scholarship differences and stuff like that. When we start dropping down to D2 or D3 or the NAIA or whatever. Bye, Tim.
Whoa. Wow. That was fast. I feel like he just bailed out. Like something was happening that he was like, no camera can see this.
Yeah, yes. Someone walked into the room. And he's like, "No, don't know that I podcast. Don't know that I video
Yeah.
cast."
That's awesome. And he's still not here to defend himself, which is even better. Cam like walked in naked or something.
Hopefully everything is fine there, but we'll keep on talking.
Jesus. Bail out, bail out.
Sorry, he texted me. Technical difficulty. Sorry, guys. I don't know what if you can see him reach down and close the laptop. All right.
Very fast.
Let's keep it going. Yeah, so I don't know what happens, but the NCAA has at least made some kind of like conditions for things to get going again, which I guess is all I can ask for, right? Just like some kind of structure, right? Is that what we want? Some kind of structure around it to know what it takes for us to get football going again? Sports.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, because then you at least have like a hard like criteria for, canceling it or keeping on going, and like what you need to do. You have goals to strive for and all that. But I think you just go.
Well, so we are getting some sports back. I'm not a NASCAR fan, and will argue that NASCAR is not a sport till I'm, blue in the teeth or whatever. But NASCAR started back in about a week and a half now, and honestly,
2,000 up turns. That's tough business.
I will probably watch NASCAR. That's not an insult to anyone that likes NASCAR. I'm just saying it's not something that I've gotten into. I haven't gotten into a lot of sports.
Did you see the Ochos back?
Oh man, the Ocho's great. Did you watch any Ocho over the weekend?
I watched the belly flop Bowden whatever. It was a belly flop competition basically.
Yeah, I watched the 2006 World Hamburger Eating Championship in Chattanooga, sponsored by Crystal. Which nice. Crystal is based out of Chattanooga. They were founded in Chattanooga.
I did not. Do they call those burgers though?
Well, they did call the World Hamburger Competition, like the Crystal World Hamburger Competition.
Do they call those hamburgers? Because I don't know.
Whatever, but
pretty loose. Pretty loose.
Yeah, I watched some Ocho. I hope the Ocho sticks around. It's fun. I would wish to be a little more timely. I did watch the 2019 Electrician Championship where they were like wiring a fuse box.
Nice.
So, and it was 2019, so that's pretty close. Those guys are still around with us, I do believe. There are some sports that are coming back at NASCAR, and then baseball is trying to figure out how to get something going.
Did I see where they were gonna start? They were gonna play non like American conference and national conference, and they were gonna just play like regional and where their spring practices are or something.
There's a lot of rumors going out about what could be happening. I think some has been released from baseball or has been leaked from baseball. But yeah, so I guess one of the ideas was they were going to basically look at their their training facilities, because there's like the Grapefruit League and the Pineapple League or Orange League or something like that. Yeah,
something like that. It's like a regional thing instead
of it's basically Florida and Arizona. And so I guess there was the one talk about everybody playing in Arizona and then like just locking all the teams, all the players into one place. And then, John, Korean baseball was live last night. Did you watch it? It got rain delayed. Korean baseball's first live sporting event last night, and it went to rain delay.
Nice.
But so they were going to do the Arizona thing, lock everybody in, and then they were talking about the spring training facilities, teams playing each other. But now the talk is, I think it's starting in as early as June, maybe it was July. So everybody would play in their home stadiums, but they were disbanding for the season divisions and conferences and leagues or whatever. And the Braves ended up in a division that would be a lot lesser talent than what we have already, the NL East, and play that way. But it'd be playing in a stadium with no fans.
I just think that with like the prevalence of television and with like you were already seeing decreased attendance and stuff, like playing with no fans just is less of a deal now. Like as a fan of Georgia State, I would really want to go see Georgia State play in person, but if I have to watch on TV, like so be it.
Yeah, so same way with Georgia State. Also, everybody knows I'm a big Atlanta Falcons fan, and I love going to the Atlanta Falcons games, and I have really good seats to Atlanta Falcons games. But honestly, when I watch these away games, sitting on my couch, drinking my beer or going to a bar with my buddies, I have actually more of a social atmosphere doing that than I do playing in when I'm playing in Mercedes-Benz, when I'm on the field, taking snaps under center and everything. But and we saw when Sunbelt got the ESPN Plus contract that attendance went down to some schools that used to be selling out. Like, Southern talks about their great attendance, and they'll complain about the weather this past season. Like, we all had the same thing, but their attendance went down. I think a lot of fans aren't going down to Statesboro any longer because they can watch the games on ESPN Plus, pay $5 a month and get to watch your games.
I'm trying to figure out what Tim's doing.
He's thinking, I don't know. I'm assuming he's going to text one of us or both of us what's going on with his computer right now.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I just don't even know where we were. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And attendance is down. Also, Southern is they're not winning as much, and they're not nearly as good at football as they thought they were. So they're not showing up.
Well, I think we can all say they jumped up too soon. That's fair to say, right?
Probably.
But no, so they're coming back. I think I saw something about basketball, NBA trying to come back as well to finish off their season. I may have made that up. I may have been seeing something else. But so sports are talking about coming back here pretty soon. Probably no fans in the stands, which is fine, I guess.
We should still just do our social distancing tailgate and do whatever we do, Well,
yeah, that's something I made some notes about because the Miami Dolphins came out with their plan for how they're going to handle the NFL season coming back. Because the NFL supposedly is releasing their schedule Thursday this week, and they're saying they're planning on starting the same time, going their 17 weeks, having the Super Bowl on February 7th or whatever it was supposed to be originally. Yeah, but so Miami, actually, one second real quick. I want to get back. John said Notre Dame football Twitter account has 500,000 followers, 500,000 plus followers. Sunbelt and App State Twitter accounts combined to have around 80,000.
Yeah, so here's the thing is if people are following like the AAC or the ACC Twitter account probably has fewer followers than Notre Dame.
Yep, and Notre Dame plays in the AC. Basically, I think that John was just confirming my point and saying that you're wrong, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I don't think he did enough information. We're not quite there yet. I need him to find out all of the Twitter followers for every Sunbelt program, and then come back.
Well, it's my show, so I say that he's right, and that we'll move on from there. So
this is our show, buddy. I'm a co-host.
Exactly. So the Miami Dolphins plan. So just give, I guess, an idea about how things would be is one of the things they said to allow players or fans back in the stands was to have certain times that at different gates for different sections you can come in. I guess it'd kind of be like if you're in section 302, then you have to enter this gate between 10:30 and 10:45 or something like that.
Well, because like coming into the building is where you get a lot of crowds and you get a lot of like very close people, right? So that's where that's one of the points where you really have to make sure that you kind of like break it up a little bit.
Right. And then the bad part is, leaving the stadium, they talked about, they called it this themselves, like leaving church, where they'll do like one row in a section at a time, like let them filter out that way.
Jesus.
I cannot imagine that working.
I would hate that. I mean, they're going to have reduced attendance, but hey, at least they can have attendance. And maybe reduced attendance is better, right? Maybe that's just a good outcome.
Yeah. Well, so that's also a thing they said, and it wasn't incredibly clear in the article that I read, but they said Miami Dolphins Stadium holds 65,000, but they may be down to 15,000 for the season. I'm like, does that mean be down 15,000? Like we're going to cut seats by 15,000, or we're only allowing 15,000 fans in? So if you're going from allowing 65,000 people into a stadium to only 15,000, that makes it way easier to get people in and out during certain time frames into these rows, because it'd probably be 4 people per row or something like that.
Well, that's what. So if you're looking at it, you'd say like half would be every other seat, right? And so that's what 30,000. So if you half that, and that'd be like a couple of seats between everybody, which is what you'd probably want, it would be 15,000. So that sounds right.
Yeah. So I was kind of thinking that exact same thing, but. So if you have 65,000 season ticket holders, and you're going to cut it down dramatically to 15,000, there's people that are not going to be able to go to games any longer that paid for those tickets. I've paid for my Falcons tickets. Are the Falcons going to say, all right, sorry, you can go to this game or that game, you can't go to all 10 games?
Well, I would imagine they'd have to give you some kind of refund for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They'd also be able to make up for it because they'd be able to sell their tickets for a lot more.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. Is so I have 4 seats at the Falcons. Maybe I'm able to sell them big time if I want to because it's a higher commodity. But I wanted to think about what does this mean for Georgia State trying to do something. And I know we're talking about NFL and Dolphins, but Tim, did you text me that you're back?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right.
Nice. Welcome
Are
back.
you're okay? Everything's fine in the Thurber household?
Yeah, everything's great.
Yeah, just did parents walk in or something like that?
Parents absolutely walked in. Yeah.
You didn't want them to see you doing a video chat with a couple of Georgia State fans.
No, my laptop was glitching. Everything froze. Couldn't hear anything. I saw the white light still on, so I tried to close the screen, bring it back up.
So basically, your computer was tired of listening to Ryan be wrong as well. So
wow.
yeah.
I mean, it was listening to Ryan be something. He's a piece of work, but
Yeah.
I told you. I'm bullshitting the whole time. That's my goal.
Well,
I've been drinking well before this podcast, everybody.
So what do you envision? I have some ideas, obviously, but what do you envision if we have football starts on time for Georgia State, and they have either limited or full fans allowed? What do you envision that game day looking like? How do you think we're going to do it? What would be the right way to do it? Anyone?
people in the stands. I don't know.
Yeah,
you got to wear a face mask.
So face masks are probably going to be a thing, most likely.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got a blue mask already, so.
But I'm thinking kind of the similar type deal. Be a little strict about which gate you enter in from, based off where your tickets, where your seats are, or something like that. But I think tailgating would still be not that big of a difference. Honestly, I mean, I don't see us pulling all of our tents together on the bricks and everything like we did last season. But I think we all have our spots, and everyone kind of pulls up, and they have their little plastic fencey type thing like we had with everything, and we kind of sit in our spots. It's easy to talk across to each other, kind of walk around, but not really get into anybody's space. That's not that big of a deal. That doesn't affect too much.
Yeah, we'll probably like share food a little less.
Yeah, that's a,
put the tables in the middle. You can walk to the table when no one's there.
Instead of people being like, all right, I got the meat, or I got the chips, I got the sodas, I got the whatever, and it's me like, all right, no, you got to bring everything for yourself.
Yeah, I got my own stuff. You bring your own stuff. We're all good.
Exactly. I guess, Ryan, you could probably do your Chick-fil-A deliveries anyway. Just bring the bag out and let everybody take a sandwich out.
Yeah. That'll work.
Get a wet wipe every sandwich.
Just dump them out on the table.
You just walk through and start throwing stuff everywhere.
I gotta put gloves on first,
Yeah, but so having limited fans at Georgia State's not that difficult of a. I mean, I'm not talking down. I'm just saying if we wanted to spread our fan base out across Georgia State Stadium, that's not as difficult of a thing to do. We could relocate people, and then you could even have, like in the student section of the general admission, you could zip tie some of the seats up or something, so there's so many seats between groups and everything, so you're not putting people on top of each other.
Yeah,
a possibility that won't work at a majority of stadiums that sell out all their games. So they're going to have to do something like the Dolphins and cut attendance big time.
I don't care about other stadiums. So there's that.
Those schools, those other stadiums are going to be the ones that are making the decisions about how it happens to all of us, because, Georgia State and Sunbelt aren't going to be leading the way in this.
Georgia State can play football if they damn well please.
They can play. May not be NCAA sanctioned. I mean, it counts towards anything. And
were we gonna go to the championship anyway? Like, we're gonna get a bowl game? Who cares? Play some games.
What's so what are the Dolphins doing exactly? I think I wasn't here for that part.
Yeah, kind of sad. So they're just talking about having certain times, certain gates for people to enter, and then all food would be like delivered to your seat, order on an app versus you go. Or sorry, actually, you'd order on an app and then you go pick it up versus standing in line. Sorry, I said delivered. That's wrong. But then, Tim, the funny part I got out of it was when you leave after the game's over, it'd be like church where you leave one row at a time. Like they'd have ushers out there to allow people out. So I'm like, at that point, I'm just like, all right, game's 5 minutes before over. I'm just going to take off. I'm just going to leave now. And there'll be like a mad rush with 5 or 10 minutes left in the game. People are just going to all be leaving.
They want to get out.
Are they going to be like, nope, you got to sit in your seat the entire time? You can't go.
Interesting. At least
But
they have a plan, right? Like they're trying to think about something.
and apparently this
Um,
is a thing. They're the only stadium the only public event space that has been like rated at some level for disinfectant and like being able to prevent infectious disease spreading or something along those lines. I don't know. Apparently they're which yeah, I don't know. It's the Miami Dolphins. Does anybody watch those guys anymore?
The Dolphins?
Yeah.
and
Albert
I grew
Wilson
up.
does.
Yeah, that was
I
a
grew up
setup.
down there, so I still watch them lose all the time. It's great.
Yeah, Albert Wilson got some little news today that Ryan shared with us on our little practice chat.
Yeah, he got signed up to a new contract.
Well, it was just a renegotiation of his existing contract, wasn't it?
Whatever. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't understand.
impressed. I mean, he wasn't liked down there. I mean, just 'cause of
Albert
injuries.
got kept on the roster and he got paid.
Yeah, he got his money, and he has one more year, but it sounds like he'll be a unrestricted free agent after this season. So they're going to give him a chance to prove his worth. But it also kind of sounded like they like, all right, here's a chance for you to prove what you can do. Get picked up by another team next year.
Yeah, so $3 million for 2020 with $1 million more in incentives. And Field Yates is the one who tweeted it out. And he says Wilson gets the chance to produce in a system he knows, then hit the market as a free agent next offseason, which to me sounds pretty positive coming from like a talking head, you know? And he's a fantasy football guy. And like Wilson, you know, Albert's been a little I don't know, he's been a little wishy-washy. I've had him on teams and I've played him and been happy with him, but
You picked him first overall.
well, yeah, of course, man. Come on, man. That's my guy.
But yeah, no, it's the injury bugs is what's been killing him. So hopefully he can stay healthy and do something, and then the Falcons pick him up in the offseason, right? We get Albert Wilson getting thrown to by Matt Ryan.
Yeah, we'll probably need a wide receiver by then, right? One more year?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, you
He's super healthy by then, right? Like
Matt
ready
Ryan
to go.
throw to anybody. He that one the Super Bowl year run. He had like I think the most receivers or most different people with a touchdown in the season, like any quarterback or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah, John just made a good comment that one of the things that could change next season is no on the field after a game was over, which makes
Good
sense.
point. Yeah, probably too much congregation there.
Way too many fans out there in the field.
I feel like I
did,
only did that like one time for the first game.
Yeah.
I think I did it for the spring game and then like didn't do it after that.
Yeah. Wait, but we get to kick, right? We get to kick a field goal, or I get to kick a field goal. I renewed on time.
Yeah, to do well for our.
I get to as well. She
You get
put
to
me
do
on the
one too?
list.
All right, yeah.
It was their fault. They were supposed to call me back. They never did.
They never said how long of a field goal this is we're kicking. They didn't say like kick a point after. They said kick a field goal. It's gonna be
In my case, I don't know if it matters.
50-yarder.
Yeah. I'm gonna change my. I'm gonna put my tickets under Brandon Wright's name and have him come out there and kick the field goal for me.
That's a good idea. Yeah. No, we should definitely figure that out and see if we can get some famous kickers to come over here and kick for us.
Yeah, I definitely get Brandon Wright for a reason. There's another famous kicker with Georgia State that I'm not going to talk about whatsoever at all.
Wait, who?
But hey, Ryan, that part by you, does that have field goals over there? Can we go out there and practice by your place?
What do you mean? What's the question?
Any track?
The practice field over there, that practice field.
No, there's no the track. Yeah, there's not any field. There's no field goal. There's no uprights.
We need to set up a socially distanced field goal practice for us to get up there and see if we can figure out how to kick a field goal.
You could get the inflatables. They have those like inflatable like bounce house style things, but it's uprights, and you could set that up in your yard and just.
All right, we have some confirmation on what this field goal requirement is going to be coming from Facebook. One of the Georgia State employees, Alexis, has come in and said that Brendan has. Oh no, maybe this is not. She's saying Brandon will have to kick for his career length for it to count. You know what, Alexis? I will take that because I see these guys in practice and they nail 75-yarders all the time. I'm okay with that.
Right. With no stress on the line, like he doesn't give a shit if he gets us our season tickets for free.
I think we should, Alexis, while you're listening, I think that our pack points should get us closer. Like the more pack points you have, you pick a yardage, and the more pack points you get, you closer and closer and closer to the field goal line, the posts, right?
How about this? If I could kick a field goal or an extra point, I'll donate to some other fan. I don't.
Yeah, there's no way I'm getting. I could not get an extra point. I guarantee you, I could not kick an extra point whatsoever.
No?
I probably couldn't throw an extra point.
It's not a frisbee, David. You can handle it. Come on.
It's oblong shape. It's weird. Yeah, I'm not doing that. But what are we talking about? We're talking about it's fans and stands, all that kind of stuff.
David, I did get a conference call with Wayne United. So they're already, obviously the season's in play right now, even though they're not playing. So their idea is if there's no season or if they play the games without fans, they will actually take all the remaining games that we didn't get to go to and give you a credit for next year's season ticket holder.
Well, that makes sense. I think the Major League Baseball's already said something similarly that for the months of April and May, they're going to go ahead and give you the option to credit it back to the next season or put it towards playoff tickets or something like that, which is fine. But so if we have no fans in the stands, and like college football has no fans in the stands, period, there could be a loss of the home field advantage because there's some schools that definitely have that home field noisy ruckus advantage, right? So you could kind of maybe like see if teams play better or worse in this kind of silence kind of deal, which actually scares me because we tend to play better in the big games.
We do.
We have a better road record than we have home record, I think.
And that's always been my theory is that it's because they play up to the crowd and they hear that and it pumps them up and like they just don't get that as much in our stadium and so they don't play as well.
So I had an idea is for Georgia State, what they should do is get a couple of camera crews or people can set up at their homes while they watch the game from home. And whenever a big play happens, a touchdown or an interception or something, a big whatever, they can cut in the stadium, use the speakers, and they can have people cheering from home and everything about like everything, pumping a little Falcons crowd noise or something.
Yeah, we just gotta get with Arthur Blank and figure out what they did and just do that.
Yeah,
it's Roddy White. Roddy White was responsible for all that.
That was his.
Not
he was the fall guy.
No, not the Roddy White. There was just a guy that worked in the audio engineering, whatever, whose name was Roddy White as well, and he was the guy in charge of that. It's just coincidence his name was also Roddy White.
Well, I know we talk about GSUing it, but we could just hire like the Roddy White and be like, we heard you did this, and like pay him a bunch of money, and he's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we're one of those schools that are nervous about having to cancel sports and drop football. We'll go ahead and hire one of the the Circle of Honor NFL players or Falcons players to come handle our audio engineering.
And he's just like in a microphone at the stadium, like,
let me hear your noise. You can do some kind of fun stuff with that, right? You know, I think that could be a lot of fun. Train horn.
We don't want cardboard cutouts like overseas.
We would have to do that, of course. Yeah.
With speakers attached.
If we didn't do that, I think we should just fire the whole athletics department. Seriously, you got to have cardboard cutouts of us, and then we get them right. The season ticket holders. If you keep the money in the program, they'll send you your cardboard cutout at the end of the season.
No, I think that we need to all create our own cardboard cutouts. We for every seat we have, we create our own cardboard cutouts that they'll put up there in the stands. And so we'll have our own things out there.
I'm down, but I just like the plan of them making me one better. But yeah, yours makes more sense.
A little arts and craft thing with the kid. I like it. Yeah, we'll get our own cardboard cutouts. Actually, you know what? For when I don't sell my seats, can I have my cardboard cutouts there anyways?
Yeah. Just put my cardboard cutout out, please. Yeah.
Oh, it's like movie Airplane, like the inflatable co-pilot, where he's kind of like, oh, no one's sitting in this seat. This inflatable guy just kind of comes up and.
We do the wacky inflatable guys that like blow in the wind, just
right.
with our face plastered on there.
I would like to say that you've gone too far, but you've not. I like this.
I know. We're only making this idea better.
It gets better every day. But I think you gotta let some. You can't have NFL or college football. You can't have zero fans. You gotta have some people in there.
The band, right?
Even the band.
Socially distanced.
Socially distanced band. It's more acoustic. Or
Yeah,
sound.
it'll change. It'll change the whole sound dynamic though if they're not together like that.
Well, yeah, but
That's fine. I mean, they'll just work it out. That's okay. That's their
the
job.
TV feed will just tell us we'll play the whole real thing anyway, so it's all lip synced. But can they actually get for the video feed of the whole thing? Can they get the old NCAA college football video game and have like that
And
kind of stuff come through?
can't they bring that back now since you pay players? I know it's a little early to talk about it, but
That was one of the big questions with the name and likeness, name, image, and likeness stuff was whether I could get it back. I don't know. It's because I think part of that was the school controlling it, and the school can't control it. I don't know.
We haven't
Right.
talked about that yet. Was that next?
It's
a
yeah.
little early.
Well, it is next. But I was also thinking, like, if they're gonna have no fans, then obviously they're gonna put more things on TV. Maybe we have a better shot of being on real TV than ESPN Plus, because like just putting everything on, maybe games get moved around. You have like more Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, Sundays. Oh, I go about Sundays, but other games you can actually get on real channels and see more variety. Is something a way
Potentially.
for schools to generate more revenue because they start putting college football on every night of the week. That'd be kind of cool.
My wife would hate that a lot because I would watch it.
Exactly.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Regardless, I think tailgating happens no matter what.
Yeah, we'll figure that out as much as we need to. Like if you guys need to come out to my front yard and just look at the stadium, just so we're close enough to the stadium to call it tailgating, then like we'll do it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got for watching games in the stadium.
It's all good. I think we've talked it to death anyway, so we're probably good.
We're doing it, right? That's the end result? Yeah? All right, good.
We have no idea, but we'd like to. And if it's best second case scenario is cardboard cutouts
So be it.
or wacky inflatable guys with our faces on them.
Ryan Reed, who just joined watching. Yes, this is my Cinco de Mayo backdrop. Thank you for appreciating it. I did have margaritas earlier, so it was appropriate back then. Yeah, so let's talk about the name, image, and likeness. This came out the day or two after we recorded last week's episode. The NCAA has a proposal to go up for votes this January, this coming January, and say some rules about the whole thing, which makes sense to me for the most part. Say the money must come from name, image, and likeness and not disguised as payment from playing football for a school. The school and the conference play no role in the whole thing. Schools and boosters not using the image and likeness as a recruiting technique. And I don't know, the role of third parties as student athlete must be regulated. So that all sounds good, but honestly, this almost sounds like it's even more NCAA overreach into someone's life than it was before. Because before it was like, you can't do that.
Right.
Now, like, well, you can do that, but I want to know every single thing that's going on in your entire life, the whole deal.
Well, and we can determine your intent when you were offering this, and all kinds of other things too. And it's I mean, honestly, it's pretty wishy-washy. It looks like the language is very generic and general, and it sort of lets them do kind of whatever they want. Like,
yeah, exactly. And one of the things they had in there was they put in their national help that they want some like agreements or some conditions that the federal government would be involved with, saying that the NCAA is like free of lawsuits about their enforcement of this whole thing, which I think this creates all kinds. I mean, that's my interpretation of the whole thing, but it says a safe harbor over lawsuits over NIL rules. So if one guy says, "Oh, you wouldn't let me make money doing this, but you let this guy make money doing that," I can't sue for it because the federal government has sided with the NCAA on this. It also says that the federal government overrules any individual state's rules. So if Georgia wants to do one thing, but Texas wants to do a different thing about how they handle it, that doesn't work. It's all or nothing under federal oversight, I guess. That's probably the wrong word to use, but
yeah, I like I said, I think the rules themselves, they make a lot of sense until you just delve just even a little bit deeper and you realize how generalized they are, and it's kind of terrifying. But I think it's still better, right? I mean,
Well, I know, 'cause I know, Ryan. I know you're very, very pro players being able to make money off their name. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am. And I think athletic departments should be able to pay him directly. And but that's neither here nor there. That's not even what we're talking about. So,
Yeah. But it's going to happen. It is happening. We know it's going to happen. That's fine. We've been waiting for this to happen for years. But I do like the little rules they put in place. But I also think at the same time, it's just making the NCAA even bigger. It's going to require more oversight, more digging into everything else, which we already hate how the NCAA handles recruiting and all that kind of stuff. It's always a pain. The
Transfer waivers, right?
Yes, never seemed to make any sense whatsoever at all. So, if anything, this actually, instead of limiting the NCAA, actually increases the NCAA's authority and reach in these kids' lives. But I don't know.
it seems like they could arbitrarily target schools or recruits on random basis and then not have to justify it, which is a problem in my book.
Like the UNC stuff with basketball. Like UNC basketball makes these heinous violations. They're kind of like tap on the wrist, don't do that. And then some other school, it's no name. They're kind of like, we're going to put the hammer down on you because we're going to make an example of how you should not give a kid a suit to go to a funeral.
Or some kid doesn't go to Ohio State and instead he goes, to some, I hate to say lesser school, but he goes to a smaller school.
Smaller program.
And then they target that smaller program because Ohio State has connections in the NCAA, and they get got. It's the same thing. Like,
Ohio State sucks anyway, so I don't even care about them.
You get like a Justin Fields who transfers from Georgia to Ohio State, and he doesn't have to sit out. But every single recruit, every single transfer in Georgia State history has had to sit out a year, right? Like hardship or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they try. It doesn't matter anything like that. They sit out a year.
Then we had one basketball guy that didn't have to sit out.
Maybe
Kevin Ware, but Kevin Ware was like injured, so it didn't really matter.
I think he had already sat out.
Yeah, I think we've had multiple transfers that to sit out in basketball.
I think basketball's only one, but it's still been where guys that have followed the exact same rules in other situations have not been able to. Yeah, there was
basketball has already been a little more loosey goosey than football because they just sort of like let things go in basketball, or like people transfer a little more often and they're a little looser on that.
Yeah. So so we'll find out. I guess the final proposal has to be done by the end of October. Who knows if this will change with the coronavirus crap? But then the vote's supposed to be in January, and so starting next season, the 2021-22 season, we'll have kids getting the ability to get paid.
So do you have your company lined up to start sponsoring some Georgia State kid?
Sure, yeah. If anybody wants to come on and get paid to be part of the podcast.
I meant your company, your
company where you work.
Oh, my company. I don't care about this crap.
Yeah, we'll pay you $5, and we'll just put your face over all of our faces and call it a day.
I'm pretty sure that would rub some people the wrong way. So the one thing they said is you can say what school you're from, what sport you play, but you can't use your school's logos or conference logos whatsoever at all in your name and image likeness, like money stuff, your shirts, your posters, your whatever you're selling or something, which makes sense. I mean, that's proper. That's the IP of the schools and the conferences.
And the school can have nothing to do with it. So if there's any trace back of like anyone in the athletic department or anything like that, it sounds like you could get got.
Here's my one problem with that. We're going to have a player get a name and image likeness deal with, I don't know, a car dealership or a restaurant or whatever it is. And he's going to say, yes, I played football for the University of Georgia State University. Like, we need to have some oversight. Can you at least make sure you get the school's name right?
And let's be real here. You want logos right too.
Yeah, well, they can't use any logo. Well, so if we have if they use deprecated logos and they use legacy logos, is that still a violation? Because
are you now okay with the push-up panther?
Sure.
With it to the extent they can't use it. But
here's a question: do you guys think we'll have one of these players that gets revenue somehow?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think Dan probably could have gotten some stuff last year.
I think
Yeah.
so. Dan probably could have.
I don't know what it would have been. I mean, well, let's face it. Anybody that shows any kind of like prominent like play, Max Beer and Wine is going to totally have them have a poster board cut out of them inside the store.
I tried to say a liquor store, but you just go ahead and do what you got to do, man.
Yeah. Well, so that was
Shout
also
out to Max Beer and Wine.
that was one of the questions they had in their first proposal here was, are we going to limit a kid's ability to be sponsored by a booze company? So maybe they don't want alcohol to be part of that. To keep that straight lace image, or maybe the kid has to be 21 beforehand. That's not what they said. That was just what I was thinking.
Well, the school doesn't get a word, doesn't get to be part of the negotiations, right? So
Well, no, this is the NCAA. Their guidelines, their rules for whether or not a kid could do something or whatever. I mean,
everyone in America drinks. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, but that's just one of the things to look at. Underdog Dynasty, those guys that I made fun of the first several weeks of the podcast, they put out an article about how this would affect G5 recruiting. And basically the takeaway from it was it doesn't really change the top of the P5 whatsoever at all. But what it does change is the top of the G5 and the bottom of the P5. Because like a UCF player may be able to make more money than going to like Wake Forest or some school like that. So they're not playing the P5 schools. They're not part of that whole thing, but now they're getting more money.
Yeah.
And another big point, which is great for Georgia State, is they said that probably every AAC team, every American team will probably do well because of the big city that the college is in.
Because there's more businesses, there's more opportunity for that kind of thing.
Paying more base, which is another example about why Georgia State should be in the American Conference.
Yeah.
So I think it could have an impact. I think you could have some kids that, if we could work some deals out, not we can't do it ourselves, or they can't. We can do it at hell.
Other people
we can
work some deals.
I guess we're probably all considered boosters as well. But no, as fans of the show, listeners of the show can sponsor these guys, get on some stuff going, help them out, whatever. Maybe, I don't know, help out that way.
Just to summarize, I think it sounds like we'll do better in this situation because one, we're in a major city, and so there's more opportunities. But two, we will be able to grab like the 4-star recruit we never hoped to grab, who might ride the bench at a program like Alabama and go there anyway because they want to be at Alabama, but they could get a name and likeness here playing, starting. So they might be more likely to come to like the city of Atlanta to play at Georgia State.
Well, and something I just thought of while you were talking, Ryan, I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying. That's
fine. That's fine. I'm used to it, man. I'm used to it.
So there's been a big thing about Georgia State fans complaining about kids from Georgia leaving and not coming to Georgia State instead. And we're getting these guys from out of state instead of getting kids from the Atlanta and the Georgia area. Maybe now with connections and just family, friends, and things like that, there are going to be those businesses. They're like, oh yeah, my church buddy's kid is now playing at Georgia State. I'm going to have him be the face of my car dealership for this season or something like that. And there's kind of more relationships and more connections. And I had not thought about this till just now. With Georgia being such a rich recruiting base, maybe it does help. Maybe we could retain some of these Georgia kids because they're like, all right, I have a better opportunity of making money at this G5 program in my home state, home city, than I do going somewhere else. No one knows how the hell I am out in Virginia or, Arkansas or something like that.
I think it could probably help us in the long run. I just think I don't necessarily care because it's the right thing to do by the kids. So, yeah. And I recognize my rhetoric. I only call them kids when I want you to defer to their needs, and I call them young men when I or adults when I don't care. But I recognize I do that, and I recognize lots of other people do that too.
Do you think this has a bigger impact, positive or negative, for football or basketball or the other Olympic sports that are out there?
I don't think it has an impact at all. I think football will go on. Olympic sports will go on. We're going to keep on seeing athletes, compete, and that's good.
What
don't care.
what I'm kind of hoping to see. Sorry, Tim, I didn't give you a chance to give your point. What was your gonna say?
I mean, I don't think it's going to make a big deal overall. You know, I mean, the people that were in the P5 conferences, they were already going to get something. It's just delayed. If they're really that good, you know, they're going to get making the NFL. They're going to get the endorsement anyway. It just kind of bridges that gap and kind of pulls it forward a little bit for them, which is great. I mean,
well, yeah, obviously these kids want the best. I mean, for anybody, capitalize on every opportunity you have out there. But one thing that I think we kind of cool is with all this influencer type stuff on social media nowadays, there's been some pretty cool and clever kids that have tried to do this, that played sports that weren't able to do it, that would do their influencing and their social media stuff because of that. I think this could be an opportunity for maybe some people that are not even that known for their quality of play up front, but they kind of get big in social media, and because they play on a team, they play a sport, whether it be football or basketball or gymnastics or volleyball or whatever else it may be, that it kind of gets them a little bit of a footing and gets them a little bit more followers. I guarantee you, if we have some influencer on a Georgia State team, no matter what it is, next season, when we're doing this podcast, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to try to get them on. We're going to have fun with that whole thing. I think it kind of makes a little bit more social, fun media experience for all the fans, right? Kind of cool.
I think so. That you can promote people. No, I think so. I mean, being able to promote your players a little bit more is always a good thing. I think that you're going to have some positives and some negatives, and I don't necessarily think it's worth talking. And I know this is like literally our job in a podcast, but like trying to say that, like, is it overwhelmingly positive or overwhelmingly negative? Like, if it's right, it's right.
Oh yeah, no, but that's whether it's right or not is what I don't care about. What I care about is something to talk crap about while I'm drinking my fourth. I lost count. It's too many.
Yeah, this is us clashing. This is like our whole paradigm clashing right now. It's fine. This is why we get along, you know.
We get along. Oh, it's fantastic. Makes it much easier. Makes it much easier how we get along. So we talked about Albert. That was the only thing I had left on my list. You guys got anything you guys want to talk about?
You're lucky you got Albert out of me, man.
Yeah. Good luck at you. I do have a couple of things for last call. I got something I want to talk about. It's a team that a GSU level fail. I want to talk about, but save that for last call just because it's fun.
Are we gonna say live for last call, or is that gonna be a non-live thing?
No, last call is gonna be on live so that we can unlive. In live?
Not live.
Not live.
Live.
Yeah, we'll do last call. That's for our Patreon users, so they make sure they get that first, and then it'll be available.
Hey, it's that money.
Audio only on Friday afterwards. So, but yeah.
Right.
Got anything else?
I don't have anything.
Anybody watching on Facebook got any questions or anything?
They're gonna be like a minute behind.
I know it's gonna be so bad.
Well, we'll give them the time. I'm liking the takeovers that they're doing on Instagram at Georgia State.
Oh yeah,
they have different coaches taking over. Like, I think the running backs and tight ends coach, he took over the account a couple days ago, and some people asked him questions about recruiting not in South Carolina, which was kind of funny because he answered the question.
That's good. It's good. Did you see there was I don't know what school it was. There was some school that a coach posted a recruiting pic being out visiting somebody, and you're not allowed to recruit right now. And he had to delete the tweet shortly thereafter.
Thanks.
Did Coach Gene Hill do a takeover?
He
has not done one yet. No.
Who can we
get? One of the golfers on today. One of the women's golfers.
Who could we get to do a takeover of the state of Atlanta social media, and could we make them do it permanently?
I vote John. John can handle it, right?
You just mean like you leave the podcast
no.
and somebody else shows up?
Just tweet.
I don't want to do the Twitter stuff anymore. I'm not good at it.
Dude, yeah, you gotta get an intern. This is last call stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, we're last calling.
All right. I think we're good to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Tim. Thanks to the Facebook listeners, and thanks everybody that's listening to this later on. We are going to head over to Last Call, where we'll talk about all this other stuff and keep drinking and talk about this other GSU fail. Not a GSU fail.
Oh boy, nice teaser.
Over there.
I'm excited. What is it? Can't wait.
You want to hear about it right now?
Nah.
No, you'll find out
Hold it.
during Last Call. And if you pay, what is it, $3 minimum?
$3 a month. And
Yeah.
we're building up for a few things for this next athletic season, some ideas going on. Anyhow, patreon.com/SaveAtlanta. Thanks everybody for listening. Really appreciate it. And we will be back doing this all over again next week. Go Panthers.
Cheers,
Yeah,
y'all.
go Panthers.